Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Channel.
Live on the iHeart app and everywhere else. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, we talk with Michael Wooding about the Waterfront Car Show and the Classic Car Appraisals. Don drove the 2023 Toyota Rav4 plug-in hybrid, and he'll give us his thoughts on that. Konrad has the cruising calendar and This Week in Auto History, and we'll bring you the stories making automotive news headlines. It's just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with King Konrad DeLong, we need more Jeff Zekin, and Chief Engineer David Ainsley, who is sitting with us today. Don Armstrong is off for the day, and I'm Mike Mars. Woo-hoo. Now, we got a little long-winded earlier in the show, and we didn't get to Konrad's car clinic, so we're going to slip that in right now.
Well, we've been talking about engines as air pumps, and last week we talked about air cleaners and stuff. Let's talk a little bit about how manufacturers push more cold air into the engine. So let's talk a little bit about air scoops today. That's the air scoop off a 55 to a 57 Ford Thunderbird, and all that air generally went into the engine down in the air cleaner. Next is the 63 Plymouth Factory Lightweight, and the air cleaner can do two things. It can push air into the engine through the air cleaner, but it also can push cold air around the engine to cool the engine down. This one did both, into the engine as well as around the engine.
It's got Craigers on it,
in 67 Corvette, the Stinger hood, very popular looking hood on it. That was available only on the big block Corvettes. And that was primarily pushing air into the engine itself. And then in a 68 and 69 Pontiac's Ram Air feature, this again pushed air directly into the air cleaner element itself. And they did this on the Firebird, the GTO, and actually you could order that on certain Le Mans models. I think it was like the T37 or something like that. And then my favorite, 70 to 72 Oldsmobile 442, the W25 hood. Oh, well, no, we'll talk about the B12 Chryslers that was available on the 340s and the Hemis alike. Again, that was pushing air into both the air cleaner and into the engine to try and cool the engine off. So, the benefit of cooling the engine off is reducing the intake air temperature, because colder air is more dense, there's more oxygen, the engine creates more power. So that was a lot of the purpose behind a lot of these air scoops through the 60s and 70s. And then here's the 70 to 72 Oldsmobile 442 with the twin snorkels. That option code was W25, and that was available on my car, the Rally 350. Typically, it was more so on the 455 engines, and it was an option. It came standard on W30s and the Rally 350, and then Ford Mustang with the shaker hood, kind of one of the more original shaker hoods that were out there. That was all the air was going into the engine itself. Very little of it was going around trying to cool things off. And then Plymouth had the shaker hood as well. That was on the 340s and 426 Hemis. All of that air was going into the air cleaner assembly. Very cool looking, because the hood scoop kind of moved around as the engine moved around inside under the hood. Kind of a cool feature, and they did it for a number of years. And then Plymouth had the grabber as well, and this one was vacuum operated. So when you whacked the throttle and all the vacuum went away in the engine, that little hood scoop would pop up, and that again would bring cold air into the air cleaner assembly on it. And then Chevrolet also did it with their cowl induction feature on the 70 to 72 Chevelles, and they were drawing air from the base of the windshield, which is kind of a high pressure area. And when you whack the throttle, the vacuum would go away, that little flap would open up, and it would draw more air, cold air, into the engine. Buick had their GS with these two little scoops here on the hood, and those again were drawing air directly into the air cleaner itself. Trans Am had the shaker hood, which was attached to the top of the engine, and it would shake. Very little air came through that into the engine. That was not that was more a visual thing than it was a performance thing. And now you move into the more current vehicles and you see these air extractors. This is a 2022 Ford Bronco, and you'll see it on Broncos, you'll see it on Escalades and Suburbans, where what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the cold air out, or the hot air out from under the hood, so they could lower the underhood air temperature and the intake air temperature on the vehicle. And that's become quite popular today on lots of vehicles. They also had those little side extractors on the Trans Ams. And if you look at the new Escalades and some of the new Suburbans and the new pickup trucks, they have basically those same air extractors, again, trying to lower the underhood temperatures of vehicles.
All right.
That's this week in Konrad's Corner.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Cool stuff.
All right. So joining us now is our guest this half hour, Mr. Michael Wooding with the Auto Appraisal Network and the host or the driving force behind Woody's Waterfront Rod and Custom Car Show. Did I get all that right?
You did.
I got close. I knew I did.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Come back and see us anytime.
Yeah. I had a little bit of trouble getting hooked up this morning, but I think I got it working good now.
Yeah, I follow you on
age.
I follow you on Facebook, Woody, and you get some cool cars to go look at, whether it's classic cars or some of the high-end exotic stuff. You get an opportunity to go out and put your hands and, I guess, put your butt in the seat of some of these cars as well.
Yeah, there's other appraisal companies in the area, but they're, they hire young people with a checklist that run down the checklist, and that's how they appraise the car. And you get, usually two pieces of paper that say, this is what the car is, and the rest of it talks about why the guy's such a good appraiser. We go that extra mile and produce a pretty nice report. We photograph and document the car completely, and those things really help bring me more business, because the appraisals get around and it brings me those high-end customers that you're talking about with the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis and so forth. And then I get a lot of the high-end muscle cars, hot rods, trucks, that type of thing. So it pretty much runs the gamut, but it's usually all specialized, and that's what those off-the-shelf services aren't able to supply.
Well, it goes with your reputation.
Yeah, I was going to say, what you're looking at. You've lived this street rod, hot rod lifestyle all your life.
Pretty much.
So these appraisals that you do for people are multifaceted. Some of them are about insurance. Some of them are about depreciated loss after a wreck. But some of them increase the value of the vehicle for a customer because you have not necessarily certified the car to be what it is, but in your appraisal, you're giving lots of information to validate the car is what they claim it to be.
And, everybody that's got a car thinks their car is worth more than it is.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I do run across a few that undervalue them, but the majority think it's worth more than it is. And what we bring to the party is give that independent third-party value. So that helps us considerably.
Well, speaking of value, that was one of the things we wanted to ask you about. We can kind of see the price fluctuation in the used car market and the new cars. Obviously, they're always talking about those. But the classic car world, the muscle car world, the world that you live in, that's kind of hard for outsiders to see where that is and where it's going.
Well, the best places to learn that kind of information is watch the major auctions. And I watch every one that I get an opportunity to watch just to see what's out there. And, the way Mecum handles an auction, the day one and day two cars are a little bit lower quality. And then you get into the day three and day four cars that are higher quality. And I can tell you just recently with this Harrisburg auction that they did, I did see that the blue chip cars are there and they're holding their value. And that's the perfectly restored 57 Bel Air Fuelie, the 53 Corvettes, the Shelby Series 1s, things of of highly unusual nature or very collectible nature.
And
Now,
somebody spent a lot of
57 Bel Airs for a whole, though, have started to drop off a little bit in value. There was a time that, you couldn't touch a nicely restored one for less than 70, 80,000. And you can find one now, $45,000 for a really nice car. So that's pretty much, I hate to say that the mid-range cars are seeing a slump right now. Blue chips are holding their own. So that's pretty much sized up.
So do you think that could be because of the interest rates? And I say that from my perspective, because for me to go out and buy a 57 Chevy for $45,000, I'm going to have to borrow some money. And that interest rate being up around 7-8% is definitely going to make a decision where if I had the money to buy an $80,000 57 Chevy, I don't think I'd be as worried about it.
Yeah, because Mike doesn't have the credit rating.
Absolutely.
All righty.
Well, the majority of these people that have these cars have been successful in business in some form or fashion and, had a passion and a love for cars all along. And now that they've reached that pinnacle in their career and can afford whatever they want, they're the ones that keep those prices up there. Okay. I do see, though, that the market's changing slightly in that, I've got a 56 Pontiac. The 40s and 50s car, you can't get rid of a Model A or a Model T. I mean, you can't give them away.
Really?
I've got people that's been trying to sell them for months and years.
Are you talking about original Model A's?
Original type cars.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
You can't give them away. Nobody wants them. And the reason for that is there's nobody left alive that remembers what it's like to have one new.
Or even seen one on the street, unless it was a parade.
And so that market, the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, and even the 50s now is starting to decline. And what you see on the upswing is, and I hate to say it because they were so pitiful in the day as far as performance, is the mid-range 70s through 80s cars.
Really?
77 Trans Ams, 87 Grand Nationals. You see 87 GNXs going for well over $100,000. Bandit Trans Ams are up around $70,000 for a nice car. So you see those prices rising and the other prices falling. And people always ask that question, what's the next collectible car? If I wanted to make an investment car, what would I buy? I tell them, look back at the high school parking lot 40 years ago today. Whatever the hot car was in the parking lot then, that's the collectible car today.
So a 78 Volkswagen Rabbit?
Oh, yeah.
It's got collectability. Now, is it going to be a high dollar car? No, but that's what allows people to get into this market in this world of collector cars, go into car shows, meeting other like-minded people.
Well, and some of what happens, because I too watch the Mecum and Barrett Jackson auctions, and you really see this ebb and flow of valuation. But, one of the things, and I don't know that everybody realizes it, is they're pumping a lot of free alcohol in these people when they're bidding. And when they get somebody emotional bidding on something, and you watch that, the bid manager standing there, hey, doing all of this with them, they can really raise the price of a vehicle on the emotion of the buy versus the true value of the vehicle.
That's their job.
It's purely their job, but I think it's hilarious that, they are pumping lots of free alcohol on these people just to get a couple extra $1,000 from them.
And I see that quite a bit, and that's why I get hired quite often to go do the bidding for someone on a particular car.
Really? Oh, okay.
I tell them when I go, this is after I've looked at the car that the value ought to be this, and if it surpasses that, where do you want me to go?
So you drink a lot.
So you go 5% higher or 10% higher. Okay. So I'll get in the bid, and I usually jump in late in the bid when it's starting to stall.
You're one of those snipers, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's just the way to get the car at the right price.
Yeah, I think I've seen you on eBay before.
Yeah.
So have you
Yeah.
have you gone to Mecum or Barrett Jackson for customers to do some bidding for them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, many times. Many times. I go to there and inspect cars, and I go to bid on cars for people. I had one gentleman from Louisiana that had me go look at a 1976 Pontiac Le Mans, but it was called a Grand Am,
Mhm.
or I'm trying to remember the
Can-Am.
Can-Am.
Yeah, had the shaker hood.
very rare car. They only made they were supposed to make about 700. I think they made a few less than that. But it was it's basically a dressed up Le Mans with a shaker hood.
Right.
So they're hard to find. And the car went way over what he was telling me it was his limit to pay for it. So as I was walking off the stage and moving away, he calls me back and he goes, "Hey, there's a bobber motorcycle over there I'm interested in." So I go over and look at this motorcycle, and I actually met the fellow that built it. And the guy told me he had $80,000-$90,000 in the bike, and it was well built, Harley bobber. But there was no bidders there for it. So I ended up getting the bike for him for about $10,000.
Oh, wow.
It was a real steal. But the kicker came. He asked me if I would ride it to Louisiana for him, and he'd fly me home. I said, I said, if it was a Road King, I'd take you up on it, but I don't think I'm going to ride a bobber that far.
Yeah. The Louisiana highways wouldn't be no fun.
Nope.
Yeah. But yeah, everything's good. We'll talk about the car show a little bit. It's going to be the 5th year. We've modified the show this year. I don't know the last couple of shows, and you guys have been there for virtually every one.
Yep.
But we saw, a brand new Tesla win a trophy. We saw a brand new Corvette win a trophy. We saw a brand new Mopar win a trophy. And this is, you can go down to the parking lot and see these cars any day, all day long. And if you got the pocket full of money, that's all you do is go buy it, drive it to the car show, and win a trophy. That's not what we're into. I'm a hot rodder. I'm old school, as you can tell. And so I decided this year to change the name from just Woody's Waterfront Car Show to Woody's Waterfront Rod and Custom Show. And we're doing 1920 to 1988. So anything above 1988, you can come in, but you're not going to be able to participate. We want to get the guys that put the effort and the time into those cars to win these trophies.
And through the years, you've had some pretty cool cars show up. I remember Greg Ender's pickup truck, well-deserved show champion truck.
He got best of show, yeah.
And then
we had that Oldsmobile.
Last year you had the George Barris Olds Tornado there.
Right.
That was part of a Canadian oil company purchase.
One of
George
6
Barris.
cars.
Yeah, outstanding vehicle.
So, you draw a good crowd of vehicles. I'm kind of glad to see you kind of change it up a little bit and restrict the awards to the older vehicles, the custom and hot rod cars, as opposed to showing up with a brand new Corvette and winning.
I'm hoping I didn't cut my own throat, because attendance helps me pay for a lot of the things that I produce at the show, like the videos and bringing you guys on board and the different things that I have to pay for.
Well,
I got to say, we probably had 30, 35 brand new model cars. So I'm not going to have those this year. That's a significant chunk of income to help pay for this stuff. So I'm really hoping the hot rodders out there got their ears on, checking the websites that we have out there. We're on Car Show Radar. We're in the Street Rod Association magazine. There's quite a few places that the show has been posted. So I'm hoping everybody's paying attention, and I hope the weather, I start praying the week before, and it seemed to work pretty much every year. I mean, we even had a hurricane come through on show 3 that wiped out most of the show field where the cars parked.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy that owns the venue worked 24 hours, 7 days a week the next week to get it ready for the show. So I got to send kudos out to Topwater Grill and Robert for those efforts.
Yeah.
But we got some good sponsors on board this year. We got Michael Kamen's back with the Kamen's Fun Motor Cars. We got Mo Muscle out in Conroe is coming on board this year. They've been on one other show, but they've come back on board. We've got Lawson Auto Works. We got Americrane. I've got a friend down there that I grew up with that runs these big, huge cranes, that do concrete tilt wall and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they sponsored, and they're probably going to bring down a crane. I had it there one year where we put a huge Texas flag and a huge American flag up on the crane.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody, you can see it all the way to Galveston.
Yeah.
You ought to have them hang the 56 Pontiac from it.
Yeah, it would draw some attention, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Well, hopefully.
Yeah, we're looking for a good show. The food's great there at Topwater. The weather usually cools down a little bit by that time, but we always have the breeze down there. And for you guys, after your broadcast, y'all can come visit in my hospitality suite that I'll have for you.
I'll have to check my ID, huh?
I rented a motorhome this year to take down there. Hospitality suite. So.
All right.
But we've got the girls coming back this year. There's going to be some different young girls, and they're going to do the 50s kind of look, the bobby socks and the polka dot skirts and the white tops, and the cruising around. You can get pictures of them with your car. It's just a great show. There's a lot to do. You get boats to look at, girls in bikinis on the boats, and just all kinds of good stuff.
16 will get you 20.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I can assure you we're looking forward to it. And we're going to talk to you again about it in a little bit more when we get a little bit closer to it. But Woody, thanks for joining us today.
I've posted it up on our Facebook page as well as Auto Appraisal Network.
Thank you much.
Have a great one.
See you soon.
Good seeing you guys.
All right, Don's not here today.
What?
But
he is in spirit.
He is in spirit. He is
and
in spirit.
audio.
In spirits.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Are we
but
drinking?
He also
He is.
left us his car review.
Yeah, he did.
And we need to run that.
On. Here we go.
Hi, it's me, a voice from your past, and I'm here, and we're going to talk about the 2023 Toyota Rav4. Okay? Remember when the Rav4 first came out? It was an
Little bitty thing.
tiny
Little bitty
Well,
thing.
guess what?
It ain't
no more. There are two trim levels available, the SE and the XSE. The review trim level is the XSE all-wheel drive Prime. Okay? Seats up to 5 people. Obviously, the driver would be included in that. Exterior changes from last model year, none. It was all new in 2019. I think that they've got a new revision coming out, but we're not going to talk about that. Exterior features, sporty, sharp looking with angular edges to it. Mine was black and white.
Very good looking.
It was good looking. We talked about it.
I like the trim accents.
Yeah, me too. Both trims have unique wheel designs. Tailgate has a very good look to it, and it is a wide open maw back there. In other words, you open the tailgate and you will see the sides of the back of the cargo area back there. That's how big it is. So it'll swallow up almost anything. Front grille does not overpower the front end. Thank you, Toyota. What I liked about it, the overall design gets an A+. There is, by the way, an off-road style option. No, I take that back. There's not, and it needs to have one. It does not have an off-road style option. It has the XSE and the SE, not off-road.
I wouldn't think a RAV4 is an off-roadable.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, beach and, light dirt roads.
Well, you would listen, you don't know about the marketing. You don't know about the design stuff and all the thought that goes into all of that. What are we going to go after? I think that they've done a very good job. It just doesn't have an off-road thing to it. Kind of like the Subaru Outback, which is a growth of the Subaru Impreza.
Yeah.
And they've made a new model now that's a off-road looking thing, and all it is body cladding on it. Okay, moving on. Interior highlights, overall comfortable cabin, well-placed controls with the infotainment screen atop the center dash. It also has the EV and traction control on the center console. Seating, attractive and comfortable. Cargo and trunk room, as I mentioned to you, a wide open maw allows for lots of big stuff to fit in it, especially with the back seats down. What I liked about it, the cabin friendliness. It's easy to use. It's easy to get in and out of. You know where everything, it's just easy. It's a great design. It has a 2.5-liter hybrid engine that gets 302 horsepower rating combined. So when you use the gasoline engine and it couples up with the electric motor on it, 302 horsepower. This thing will get up and go, man. And it's, it's not a race vehicle at all.
But it's the synergy drive. So it's that evolution of Prius as it has expanded to other platforms within the Toyota brand.
And here's an interesting
It gets
fact.
better every time.
And it's well proven, efficient and effective.
Here's the interesting thing. This is the second quickest vehicle in the entire Toyota lineup.
Really?
It's only behind the GR 86.
Oh, wow.
I'll be darned.
The GR 86. It's the quickest. I didn't know that when I was driving it. I knew that it was fast, but I didn't know it was that fast. Has a CVT transmission. The battery mode will take you approximately 40 miles on the charge. Get this. Combined,
Wait.
it gets 94 miles to the gallon.
Wow.
Keep the battery charged and you get 94. The gasoline only gets 38 miles to the gallon.
And you got?
I don't know because I couldn't figure out how to read it.
Oh.
I would assume that it's somewhere in there.
That's how many miles divided by how much
Well,
gallons
I
of
know,
gas you put in.
but I couldn't get in
But
there.
you said you never put gas in it.
No. I gave it back to him with, I think, 3/4 of a tank of gas. What I liked about it, the get up and go, what could use improvement, optional hot rod screen
All right.
and the instrument cluster. Well, why not?
Mhm.
It's the
it's that
quickest thing.
quick.
If it's the
Yeah.
quickest thing they got. Let's have some fun. Ride and handling, both easy riding and non-aggressive handling. So it's an easy car to drive. Great road tripper. Seriously, seats are comfortable. It's great.
And smart enough not to put a third row in it.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, that would cramp it up.
Base trim price $46,210. That's the base model price. Base model price. Base trim price $43,990. So you can get into it for $43,990. Price is tested $51,918. It ain't cheap.
No.
And the RAV4 originally was.
See, I
Cheap.
thought it would be less than
Entry
that.
level.
Yeah.
I did too. Comparisons: Hyundai Tucson PHEV, 37.5. So it's about $5,000 more than that. Kia Sportage PHEV, 38,690. And then we had to throw in a third one, and the Volvo XC60 T8 extended range, 62,545.
Yeah, but you have a Volvo when you're done.
But yeah, well, there's that.
They're
Anyway.
coming back.
There is my review of the Toyota RAV4.
There you have it.
Very good.
Thank you.
The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In Wheel Time Car Talk. And we also offer video stream on Facebook, YouTube, and the InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are also available at your fingertips over dozens of popular podcast outlets.
You ready?
We'll be back right after this break.
Here we go.
The original group
Short
of Loopy
meats
Tortilla
don't do-
restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Loopy Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Loopy Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggie Land? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Let me in.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora,